Hello, this is Rad from RADACAD, and today I'm going to talk about how to use aggregations inside a Power BI dataset, which is all imported model. So it's not composite model, it's not DirectQuery, it is all imported data, but still having this method would help you to have a better performance in your Power BI report. Let's see how it works. I have a set of blog articles and videos about aggregations, and using the link down in the description below, you can access them all and learn about aggregations. What aggregation is basically is telling you that you can have a really large table. Let's say I have a fact table with billions of rows. Getting data from that table normally makes your model slow. So normally we keep those tables in a direct query source, but sometimes if you have a good capacity for your Power BI dataset, let's say if you have premium capacity, you might keep them all imported. Now, because that table is still quite big, even if it is imported into memory, normally what we can do is to create an aggregated table. The aggregated table would be grouped by version of that table, so it would have much less rows than the actual fact table. So if it is billions of rows over there, this might be only like thousands of rows in the aggregated table, depends on the aggregation. And then for certain calculations, for certain visuals, you use the aggregated table instead of the actual main table. You only go to the actual main table, the huge table, only if that information is not in the aggregated table. Now, I have explained about all of these, as I mentioned, in 5 separate articles and videos. So go ahead and check them under description below. So what this video is about how to use that inside an import mode Power BI dataset, because in import mode Power BI dataset, the situation is a little bit different. So first, let's talk about that from beginning. First, you need to create an aggregated table. So this is my model. I have a sales table. It is sliced and diced by customer, date, product, and promotion. Now, what I have done is I have created an aggregated table. This aggregated table can be created anywhere. This can be created in SQL Server database if that is the place you are getting your data from. It can be created in Power Query, which is how I've done it in Power Query. Actually, I've created this using a group by operation like this, like what you see here. I've actually grouped by those information and by these 3 fields, which is connecting to 3 different dimensions, and did some aggregations. You can also create that using DAX calculated tables with functions such as summarize, or let's say group by, or any other functions like that. It doesn't really matter how you create it. What it matters is that you create it, right? So when you create it, then this is an aggregated table. This is like the big table. If you get data from the aggregated table, normally it is faster. But how would you tell Power BI that get data from this one instead of that one? We have something in Power BI tables. When you right click on a table, you'll see something called Manage Aggregations. This is there's another name for this also called Aggregation Awareness. What this does is that it tells Power BI that this table is aggregated version of the other table. But this feature only works when the non-aggregated table is direct query. As you see, it doesn't let me to choose any of those tables. So I can't really use this option. Now, it doesn't really mean that I can't use aggregated table approach in Power BI when data is all imported. What it means that Power BI aggregation awareness will not work with this, which means that then we have to do it in another way, which can be a DAX measure. So what we can do is to write a DAX measure, for example, for sales. I can write a DAX measure and say, for example, if this is sliced and diced by something that only is available in the non-aggregated table, use non-aggregated table. If it is something that is available in aggregated table, use that. how can I do that? Well, you can do it this way. First, you need to understand how the model works. You see that my sales table is sliced and diced by these tables. My aggregated table is sliced and diced by customer, date, and product subcategory key, which means that if I use any of these tables, any combination of these three tables, and those tables that are filtering these in a one-to-many relationship situation, which is product category and team geography, any combination of those tables would be possible through the sales ag. I will not get proper data from that only if I get these from tables that are only connected to the fact internet sales, which is DIM promotion and DIM product. So it means that if I want to have a DAX statement, I would first need to check if my visual is filtered by anything from product or anything from promotion. If it is, then use the data from here. If it is not, then use the data from the ag table. And that is a simple if expression. So here is the calculation I've created. A simple if expression. I'm using if is cross-filtered promotion key in DIM promotion or product key in DIM product. That means also if there is another field in DIM promotion that is used in a filter, that would be also considered. So if it is filtered by any of these, that means this data is not in aggregated table, then I use sum of the sales amount from the main table. And this could have been any other measures as well. I just kept it simple here. If it is not any of those, that means I have that data in aggregated table, so then I use sum of sales amount from the sales ag table. So really simple. This is now going to be the measure that I use in my reports. Then I can go and hide the actual tables, the aggregated table, and even the main table if I don't have any degenerate dimension or anything like that. To test it, you can have a visualization and have these items in it. Now, one way to test if this value, because they both are sum of the sales, to test if this is coming from the right table is to create a measure like this. So I've created a measure with exactly the same if expression. The difference is that this time I return actually which table this is coming from, which is fact internet sales or sales ag. And I use that as a tooltip for this visual. So just to start, if this is just normal sales measure, this should come from sales ag table, because that is where this aggregation value exists. If I slice and dice that by something from a table that exists in the sales ag table, such as customer table, that should still come from the sales ag table. As you can see, this is still coming from the sales ag table. It only would not come from the sales ag table if I bring something from promotion or product table. From product table, if I bring that, because this does not exist in the sales ag table, so it comes from fact internet sales table. Now, of course, you can have other layers of aggregations, like you can have another layer of aggregation that is by product as well, or another layer of aggregation which is by promotion. When you use DAX and aggregation together, you don't really have anything to worry about. This is just all within your hand. You just need to write that simple if statement to get this working. This way, you can speed up the performance of your Power BI models. So if I want to speed up the Power BI model performance, good modeling, having my calculation in the right place, fine-tuning my DAX expressions, aggregations. Normally these are approaches that I would go through, and in this video you learned how to do aggregations in a Power BI import data mode. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe into our YouTube channel. We have weekly videos of Power BI and AI. Thank you.